Hey, it's Giguk, and you're watching Pixel Party Pals. Woo! I got it right on my first take. It is!
Hey guys, how we doing? So we're back on another Giguk video, new one, called Anime is a Brand. That's basically it, let's get into it. Best intro.
Okay, pop quiz.
Okay.
We're gonna play a game called Is It Anime?
Ooh,
I'm gonna show you a
cute.
clip, and you're gonna tell me, is it anime?
Okay.
First we got this, and
Panty and stocking.
I mean, this is the oldest trick in the book. Panty and stocking? Yeah, it
That's
looks like
an
a cartoon, but come on. It was made by Gainax, Hiroyuki Imai's
Trigger.
team before they made Trigger. So, is it anime? Yeah, of course. So next
course.
we got this, which, you know, it looks exactly like anime.
Yeah.
Moves like anime, but it was made in China.
Oh.
And China's
Oh dear.
obviously not Japan.
No, it's not, you're right.
So, is it anime?
No.
This looks exactly like any other anime I'd watch. And lastly,
Here we go,
got
this is great.
and I think this is pretty
What?
obvious.
Right.
I mean, this is just Batman.
Yeah.
It's an American cartoon, so obviously it's not anime.
Of course.
Hold on a second. This movie, Return of the Joker, was actually animated by TMS Entertainment. That featured works from the likes of Hiroyuki Aoyama, who worked on other feature
Akira.
films like Akira.
Yeah.
So,
Whoa.
is it anime?
Whoa. Oh no.
The debate of what
Boss?
does and doesn't count as anime
Good
has
film,
been
that, though,
a
Return of
prevalent
the Joker.
discussion in our community that has been plagued with heated debates of how
Avatar.
to label and categorize certain
Ruby.
shows. While the technical origins of the word anime is and always has been just the Japanese word for animation,
Yeah.
that hasn't stopped it from being used as a label here to describe shows and movies in a certain subculture. The subculture of animation and comics from Japan. And while most people in the fandom knew what you meant when you talked about anime, the exact definition has always been a bit vague. I think there's
Right.
been enough discussion now around our community that most people are aware that it's not that simple.
No,
When
it's
you talk
not.
about breaking down anime by its
Ooh,
art
the
style,
Matrix stuff,
ethnic
yeah.
audience, ethnic origin of creative staff, country it was produced in, it's all very muddy. If you have a personal clear-cut definition of what anime is, I guarantee there are dozens of examples that will break your
Yep,
rule.
there will be. People will argue.
To your rules that you wouldn't really be happy
God,
with
yeah,
anime
some
at
Transformers
all,
I class
because
as,
that's just
anime.
how broad this medium is. However, that hasn't really stopped the majority from agreeing that shows like Teen Titans
Titans.
or Avatar, while obviously anime inspired, were not anime as they weren't from Japan. And for the longest time, that was the consensus no matter what discussion points were brought up. With
Yeah.
the general agreement being anime is just animation that was made in Japan.
Right.
Though over time, I've seen that way of thinking slowly change in our community. Right now, it feels like we're in a crossroads where the perception of what anime is and the usage of the word is shifting, to the extent where if Avatar had been made in the coming years, I believe there's a good chance it could have been considered an anime, as the need to correctly categorize anime and its general definition changes in the current environment. And to understand why, I think it's important to understand why we felt the need to correctly categorize it in the first place as fans.
Pokemon!
I'm sure I speak for a lot of us who grew up watching anime when I say that we were drawn to it
Say
because
no
it
more!
felt different. I could tell that there was something that
Ed, Ed, and
separated
Eddie.
the likes of Hayano, Dexter's Laboratory, and Ed, Ed, and Eddie
Yeah.
to Dragon Ball Z,
definite.
and Card Captors. And when I grew older and actually got properly invested into the medium, anime was this strange, exotic, foreign thing that you couldn't find anywhere
you
else.
needed to
Not
find
just
more
the
and
art
watch
style, it had
more.
a unique way of telling stories,
Ooh,
directing
Baccano.
action. It was weird. It was the only place which did 2D animation that didn't just appeal to kids. And because of this, being an anime fan meant something, because it meant that you were into a medium that not many others were.
Yeah,
And I
but
feel
it's
like
more
this
widely
is where
accepted
a lot
now.
of the desire to categorize anime comes from. For the longest time, there
Gundam.
wasn't really a concept of a casual anime fan. So when you said you were into anime, there was a clear distinction between these shows and everything else. So
Yeah.
even when things like Avatar and Teen Titans came along, there was a simple line we could draw that served as a point of common interest for us to gather around. We were into foreign media that came from Japan, and these
My
didn't
God, yeah.
come from Japan.
No, they did not.
But things have changed drastically. As the fandom and medium have grown, that point of common interest between anime fans has dwindled. Not only has the fandom become a much larger, less
It's
unified
huge.
group, but anime itself has just become a more accepted medium for mainstream entertainment.
Definitely.
There are casual fans, there are hardcore fans. You got Christoph Waltz asking Kizuna Ai if she's single, Elon Musk casually wearing a Kakiguri shirt.
Yeah.
The whole subculture of anime has expanded so far past just the small group of nerds watching these niche cartoons, and its appeal has grown too wide to fit under one umbrella. Not only that, but the industry itself is far closer to our shores was than it ever has been. Crunchyroll are on the production committee to a handful of shows every year. Netflix are just straight up funding their own original
they are.
projects. Radiant is an anime airing right now that is based on
France.
a manga made by a French dude.
Yep.
FLCL season 2 and 3 were
I know my
only
stuff.
available in
I love
English
Radiant.
dub months before Japanese broadcast.
Can't wait for season 2,
That's
man.
right, if Japanese viewers wanted to watch it early, they would have had to watch it with Japanese subtitles.
My God.
Not to mention the increasing number of international staff members that are now actively working in the industry. Hell, the other day I was lucky enough to hang out with Kevin Penkin, an Australian bloke who
Cool.
composed the soundtrack to Made in Abyss, one of the most critically acclaimed anime OSTs of 2017 that was recorded in a sound studio in Vienna, Austria.
Not Japan.
The era where anime was this exotic foreign thing that we had no involvement or influence in is dying as other countries get more actively involved and the industry shifts from a purely Japanese one to an international one. And as we see this shift, there's less of a need to strictly differentiate it based on geological origin. It becomes more of a movement, it becomes more of a concept, it becomes a brand.
A brand.
Something you can't easily describe, but can be instantly recognized and marketed as a thing that fits in with the culture we've created. And I don't mean to cheapen the cultural significance and history of Japanese animation, it's just as the medium evolves, that's kind of what it's starting to feel
Yeah,
like. And
I
I know
agree.
that's kind of a broad statement, so to explain where I'm coming from, I'm going to talk about the tale of two shows, Netflix's Castlevania and Crunchyroll's High Guardian Spice.
Okay.
These are two completely Western produced shows that have been marketed towards an anime audience that couldn't have got a more polarizing reception. Castlevania, for the most part, was really well received in
Yeah,
our
everyone loved it, didn't
community.
they?
I've met so many people
I've not
that
watched
had
it yet.
no idea it wasn't produced in Japan, and even those who did only had praise for how well it did with its action and animation, even paying homage to legendary Japanese animators. So a lot of people,
Cool.
even though they know this wasn't made in Japan, consider this an anime.
Anime, right.
And as for High Guardian Spice,
People did not like this.
it didn't get the same kind of hype. So
No.
really, what's the difference between these two shows? From a production perspective, there's not actually much. Both are Western animation funded by streaming companies in an attempt to produce their own original content that have no affiliation with Japan at all. So the more I think about it, the more I think it's really just down to their marketing and branding. Netflix is an all-encompassing media titan, and Castlevania was marketed as an animation that specifically appealed to anime fans.
Definitely.
To them, it didn't really matter where it came from. They knew that if you liked this and this,
this,
then you're
and
probably
you're gonna
gonna
like that.
like this. And that's all that really matters. So who cares if this show's under the anime tag with all these other shows? From their perspective, this is anime. On the flip side, you have High Guardian Spice, where you can blame some of the fault with the lackluster announcement trailer, but at its core, I think a lot of you will agree with me when I say that High Guardian Spice just doesn't look or feel like anime at all. And there's no inherent problem with this, except for the fact that it's being made by Crunchyroll. So even if it's not their intention to make an anime, they can't market this to anyone else but an
anime fans, yeah.
audience, Crunchyroll. They are the anime streaming service.
yeah.
Their users are there for anime. Anime is their brand. If Crunchyroll had made Castlevania and Netflix made High Guardian Spice, there would be no controversy.
Oh, yeah, I
around it.
agree with
But
that.
as
Wow,
far
yeah.
as High Guardian Spice was so far removed from what their audience expected that of course they received backlash for it. And I actually think this was such a simple problem, a lot of the shitstorm could have been avoided if they just branded it a bit differently. Granted, Castlevania is already out and High Guardian Spice has literally one announcement trailer, but I seem to remember that when Castlevania was announced, it was met with excitement and curiosity, and High Guardian Spice won't even be the first American-produced show that's streaming on Crunchyroll. But there was no controversy when they made the decision to stream Ruby on their platform, and that just brings me back to my point. There is no technical divide between these two shows, aside from one feels like anime and one doesn't.
yeah.
And if watching Castlevania feels the same as watching all the other seasonal anime that's streaming, who really cares? Going back to Avatar, the reason it was the show to spark the discussion in the first place was because it was the first show that genuinely felt very anime.
Yeah, I get
Despite
that.
being produced in America for
Look at it.
primarily an American audience.
Look at it.
But today, what even is
Don't look
an
at it.
intended audience when TV is no longer a factor and shows are being streamed internationally in multiple languages? Which is why I think there's been a subtle shift in perception from you can't call this an anime, it's not from Japan, to whatever, I don't
it's
care
cool.
where it's made. I'm still going to put it in my top 20 list of anime last year. However you view anime, it's hard to deny that we see the anime trademark and branding in a lot more places used in ways that would appeal to our community. Doki Doki was an internet sensation that capitalized on a darker look at waifu culture. You've got League of Legends hiring PA work. from
Yeah, that
anime
looks
PV
awesome.
products. Hollywood is trying their damn
Alita,
hardest
I
to
still
make
want to
anime
see it.
work in live action. Shit, if you want to sell me a product, just brand it with
I really
anime
want to see
waifus and
Alita.
suddenly I'm interested.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm that easy, alright? Don't
Alright,
judge me.
that's
This is
fine.
me only really focusing on Western attempts to appeal to the fandom, but it equally applies to countries in the East. I think it's only a matter of time before we get a breakout hit Chinese anime. I think it's only a matter of time before we get some kind of Korean manhwa adaptation. Hell, having lived in Thailand for the past 2 years, I've seen some really fucking talented animators in Southeast Asia, so
Cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if something eventually comes out from that region. And when it does, is anyone gonna care if we call this an anime or that an anime, and would that stop you from being interested in it?
No.
Whether you do decide to
If it's
step
good,
into
I like it.
rise, manhwa or webtoons, Castlevania or King's Avatar, there's no denying that these are all targeted towards the anime and manga subculture. It's all the same brand. So the question shifts from, does this count as anime, to more of, is this something that's going to appeal to the anime fandom? Which is what I feel the mentality of future productions will have, no matter what country it's made in. In the end, the category of what counts won't be decided by some fictional scholars drawing the line of what is and isn't anime, as much as the mods in our anime have tried to do so in the past. It's us. It's what the general
Radiant.
consensus agrees on.
So good,
And
check it
the
out.
exact word use such as this can shift depending on culture, environment, and time. No matter how many times
It's
we were told that
evolving.
the word otaku had severe negative connotations in Japan, it didn't stop it from becoming an all-encompassing buzzword to describe anime fans here in the West. Shit, does anyone remember when calling someone a weeaboo was a massive insult? And now everyone calls
Freaking
themselves a
weeb.
weeb. I call myself a fucking weeb. I am a fucking weeb. Even though I've chosen to use the word brand to describe the entity anime is turning into, I don't mean to say that it's just a brand. Anime is, and always will be, associated with Japanese animation, and honestly, I don't think it should be any other way. But as we move forward, I believe that the clear definition and context we use the word in is just going to get more muddled and broad. Because even if you don't subscribe to the idea that anime should be this all-encompassing word that labels everything that remotely resembles the Japanese shows we grew up with, the deeper you dig, the more you see that from the beginning, anime has always been more than just a single art style, a single genre, a single way of storytelling, a single method of animation, and as time goes on, more than just coming from a single country. Hey guys, before you go
Cool
anywhere,
video.
I do have a quick announcement. This year, I'm going to be guesting at MomoCon from May 23rd to 26th. For those of you that don't know, MomoCon is an anime, gaming and comic convention in Atlanta, Georgia, with one
Right.
of the biggest gaming halls in any convention. So if you want a chance at meeting me there, there's a link in the description where you can register. And I'm looking forward to it since it's my first time in that area of the state. So hope to see you there. Anyway, with that said, thank you very much to Carolis Draswina.
You can do it.
I'm sorry, I pronounced that very wrong. Epic Mick, Supreme Saiyan, Nicholas Tatum,
That's a good
Mike
video.
Elfin, Sisters
true.
10086, and everyone
It's
else
evolving,
on
it's
Patreon
different.
helping to support me
It's like,
for
it
this
needs to
month and
feel
making this
like
video
anime, though.
possible. No further updates from me today, but for future reference, if you do want me to attend a convention near you, the best thing to do is just to let your convention know. Too many conventions every year, but
I really highly doubt he'd come to where
Anyway, that's
my
it from
local
me.
town
I
does a
think
convention.
and
We
I'll
get
see you all
nobody.
next time.
Be hilarious though. That was a cool video. Awesome. So yeah, like it just needs to feel anime. Like there's always that argument. Avatar is always like a big argument, isn't it, as to whether it's an anime or not? And it's just like, well, personal opinion is really a big factor in that, I suppose, as well. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch or discuss in future videos, and I'll see you guys. It's all you guys next time.